Metafix is a show that teaches you how to think in the metagame. I am not here to give you the answers, nor am I going to tell you how to win. Metafix teaches you how to play in the metagame and how to react around the metagame and what is in the metagame. If you're looking for the answers, try HC Realms, check the forums, they have all kinds of neat toys and tools and teams being brought up, and check the results of a lot of the ROC tournaments or any Worlds tournaments to see how teams played out and what teams were used for. I'm just here to help you think. I want to call this the buffet episode. But this one's another rich man's episode. There's only one character who isn't an uncommon, like who isn't a super rare or chase or con exclusive, and he's an uncommon. Any case. Ready to get your metafix on? So the metagame's in this really weird place, especially in the ROC no tactics format. A lot of the winning teams have some characters who have some potency with regards to using pretty much any power that's on the board. Now, there are exceptions to this. Some people have won without the use of these types of characters, but these characters are doing very well. The ability to have choice in the game has really changed a lot of what generally happens in the game. Allow me to explain. Generally, you come into the game planning to be able to beat a couple things with the knowledge that there are things out there that will be able to stop you. But what has happened is some characters have been created that don't care about that. And I guess the general idea is you get to make it up as you go. React to the team that you're playing against. And now these types of teams, you have to be careful going in. Not just anyone can pilot these figures. You do have to know which powers are going to work to the best of your ability. But without further ado, let's discuss the idea of picking the powers, or picking your poison, if you will. Which is a funny thought if you think about it, because more often than not, if you get the idea to pick your powers, poison is an often picked one. Which will be explained shortly. Now, before we get too deep into this is going to be another one of those episodes that best covers the no tactics ROC format, as this type of team does have one fatal flaw, and it's the green power battery, or characters like White Witch, who limit the number of free actions you're allowed to take. Now, that's all I got to say with as far as the preamble. Those characters don't completely stop these teams, because there are powers, that these teams can use very effectively still to get their point across. I want to start with the lower end of this, though, and that is a couple characters that have limitations with regards to what they can pick. Two of them can only pick attack powers. Those are, of course, the Weaponer of Court, who's a very solid figure playable as both a tent pole or as a 135-point figure who can get some support. Now, the 135-point figure, he's not as solid as he comes with Sidestep to start, and the ability to pick his attack power with a 4 damage and 8 team defense with Impervious. Now, this character is good in both ends, but he absolutely shines if you spend the extra 80-odd points to get the 2 extra clicks, which come with a full movement charge or full movement running shot, the ability to pick the power, and 5 damage with Exploit Weakness. So if you happen to use the charge, there's 1 less attack power to worry about. Now, he gets the ability to choose any attack power as a free action, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. The Weaponer is a tough character with Indomitable, and overall a really good character, but you do got to put a lot of effort points-wise into him. 211 points is a lot of points on a 300-point team. Leaves you still, though, with 90-odd points. I believe it's 90, no, it's 89. 89 points, which can get you Blind Owls, it can get you Blue Lantern Recruits, it can get you a Harley Quinn. Who better as a pudding than quite possibly one of the more potent figures at the 200-point mark, right? Conversely, another character who gets to choose an attack power is Dr. Spectrum. I'm choosing the Prime version primarily for his point effectiveness. Primes, for the most part, are some of the most cost-effective characters that have been created, which is part of the limitation of only one of them per team. A Prime, for the most part, will always have a very low point cost for what you get, but there will generally be limitations to them. One of the limitations with regards to Dr. Spectrum is that if he gets the killing blow on somebody, I think it's the first time each time, I don't have the card in front of me, but there is a limitation where when he kills somebody, instead of them being KO'd, they go to the last click with an action token that doesn't deal pushing damage. A little bit of a downside, but at 110 points, with the stats he has, energy explosion, the ability to choose any attack power, you're talking about a character who's flexible and able to do the first attack and just, have the rest of what could be any number of figures clean up. Because generally on the last Clix, a figure like Weasel could possibly clean up for you. If you have characters fighting you in your starting area because you've got a bit of a slow-paced team, Blind Owl can finish off shots for you on that kind of idea. But of course, there are characters who are going to be dangerous. One who's been previewed being Tim Hunter. You don't want him on his last Clix, so be careful who you're attacking. Long story short. As well, there are some other characters with not as strict limitations in regards to the one-dimensional, like one stat they can choose, but there's multi-dimensional with limitations, one of which is the Beyonder, though not 100% in the metagame. Those brave enough to play a one-man army in a no-tactics format, first of all the power to you, you crazy. But secondly, the Beyonder is able to choose the power of any other figure on the board. Now, of course, the limitation is, what the heck does your opponent have when you're playing him as a one-man army? As well, you're limited to a character who's a one-man army. Now, playable at 100 and 200 points as well, you are losing a single stat point on all the stats with him when you do play him at the 201 point level. But don't 100% discount him if your opponent's got a good selection of powers for him to pick from, right? Next in the limited versions is Question. Question is only limited in his own powers. But the way his power works is you take one of the powers that he currently has, you counter it, and then you choose any power he has on his card. Now, I can't tell you how many times that first Clix Smoke Cloud has disappeared to become Flurry, Plasticity, Stealth, Super Senses. I believe he has Shape Change at some point on his dial. He's a very flexible character in the fact that he can choose any power that he can eventually get on his dial to kind of work with him, right? So, a very good choice as well for picking a power in this no-tactics format where making it up as you go is really good. Never underestimate the power of Plasticity, especially what it can do to a character with Hypersonic. Kingdom Come Flash. So we move on now to the two most potent users of this ability. I'm going to go lower and then higher, the peak of it. We had the Engineer first. And now the Engineer, at first I discounted her 90-point version. I never really gave it the time of day. I thought, 90 points, not a very particularly thick dial. But the potency of being able to choose any power with the exception of a defense power is absolutely insurmountably amazing. The fact that she also comes with Sidestep already, which is probably a pretty key power that you'd want to generally use, that's kind of overshot in the fact that you can choose any of the other powers that come on movement. Running Shot, Plasticity, Charge. If you got a character across the board from you who's got Shape Change and Super Senses, well, guess what? You've now got Charge, Precision Strike, Battle Fury. You should see the face Amber is making of me right now. It's quite sour. As well, let's say she's the highest point figure on your team. All of a sudden, she's a support character. Imagine she's the highest point character on your team, and this guy's across the board from you. Now she's a support character. An amazing support character with Perplex and TK and Plasticity. Perplex and... Outwit and Poison. Geez Louise. Never underestimate the ability to pick poison. Pick your poison. Because, combine it with her Sidestep, give her Outwit, Poison, TK, awesome, Perplex, awesome. I'm getting into a rant here, and I'm doing the robot. Amber, do not play music over that.
Oh, so do we.
Oh, man. All right. And the creme de la creme of the Pick Your Poison characters, the supreme to the supreme, the cheese de cheese, omelette de fromage, the Super Skrull. This is a character who comes with powers on his dial already and is able to choose any of the 4 slots powers. You can choose a movement, you can choose an attack, you can choose a defense, you can choose a damage power. Now, the downside is you have to kind of pack these tokens onto him when you do it, and then you roll a die, add the result of the number of tokens that you have on him, And then that's kind of what you're stuck with regards to him. Doesn't matter. Let's be brutally honest. If you take 1 damage with this figure, after dealing 5 to 6 damage, who cares? Did you just pulse wave 8 characters? He just collected food tokens. And he's just added a multitude of virus tokens that can potentially turn their team into your team. The flexibility of this character is bonkers. And he is actually doing a lot of damage with regards to tournaments in the greater metagame of the no tactics format. So you can't really... There's no way of discounting this guy. I have to admit, when I first saw this guy, I was like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then I had to talk with Adam Friedman. And then I got a chance to play with the figure. And then I lost my mind with the awesomeness that this guy has. The zombie abilities, in conjunction with what this guy gets packaged with, actually brings one of the zombies into the major metagame, which is bonkers. So that's all I got to say with regards to picking your poison. That's all I got to say when we're talking about picking powers. Making it up as you go is probably one of the strongest strategies in the no tactics format. And running into whatever team that you run into that has a multitude of powers or, you know, things that you're going to have problems with, you'll have the answer to if you have a team built around this kind of ideal. So remember, guys, practice makes your team better. The opinions and thoughts brought to you in Metafix are not meant for the casual game at the table. Married with Clix is proudly sponsored by Majestic's Comics, Collectibles, and Games, located in Costa Mesa, California, near the Orange County Fairgrounds. If you don't happen to live in the Costa Mesa, California area, though, you can check out their website, linked down below, majesticccg.com, where you can check out all kinds of stuff to shop for, their regular tournament listings if you happen to live in the area, or if you need to shop, they've always got some Heroclix stuff if you check out both their eBay store, which is linkable in their website, as well as their online store, which I believe should be having product added soon enough. Also, they keep regular articles written by some of the great minds in Heroclix, including Adam Friedman, the 2014 Heroclix Nationals champ, and of course, the owner of the store, Patrick Yabjoko, the 2014 Heroclix Worlds champ, 2014 Team Worlds champion, as well as the 2014 DragonCon ROC champion. Wow, that's quite a year he had last year. I think he's going to repeat it in 2015, right? So, don't forget to check the link down below, or check out the store if you live in the area.